Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad to have you here for today's video, which is super exciting for me to make. Kringle Candle has just revealed their new Halloween candles for the season, and this is the collection that I look forward to personally every single year. This is the collection that got me into collecting and burning candles in the first place, and I know this is a collection that a lot of people in the candle community are really excited about because they know that Kringle kills it every single year with their Halloween collection. I mean, I've even seen people who claim to not be Halloween fans being won over by these candles. So with that being said, this year there are 24 fragrances in total, which is a huge collection. That's a lot of candles. And basically the reason for me even wanting to make this video in the first place was I've been collecting these candles since I want to say 2021, I think was my first year, where they had another, I think they had 16, maybe 18 that year, and it was a little bit overwhelming to pick. But I have quite a bit of the returning fragrances this year here with me, which I wanted to showcase and maybe help a few people pick them out if they're either on the fence or they just don't know which ones they might enjoy. I actually think that this year is their best lineup, even without smelling the new fragrances. The returning fragrances that they picked are killer. They're really good. I think Kringle is one of the only candle companies that really understands how to make like a spooky Halloween fragrance. They're really not scared to go in a more conceptual territory with their candles. They are much less afraid of consumers turning their nose up to their more dirty fragrances, which they do have a lot of dirty fragrances. Last year they had a candle named Dungeon that literally smelled like wet cement and dirt, and it was crazy, and I never smelled anything like that before. And they just, sold it in their casually in their Halloween collection. So yeah, I kind of wanted to go over my picks and some of the other returning fragrances in order to maybe help you guys out a little bit. Also, I just wanted to mention before getting started that I'm in no way affiliated with Kringle Candle. I'm just a big fan of their Halloween collection. So I purchased these with my own money, and I will give my honest opinions on them. All right, so the ones that I don't have here with me are Candy Corn, Graveyard Night, and Poison Apple. And two of those, the Graveyard Night and the Candy Corn, are more gourmand type fragrance. So Graveyard Night, I've heard a lot of different things about. I know the fragrance changes on that like every couple of years. I know that's probably the one that's been reformulated the most. But from what I've heard of that one, I've heard everything from it smells like a candy bag to it smells like apple cider to it smells like a pumpkin spice. So I don't really know. My best guess is that it's probably like an apple pumpkin type scent. I might honestly pick that one up this year. I'm heavily considering it just because I really like the packaging on it. I think the label on that one's gorgeous, but I've just kind of skipped over it because I'm not really the biggest gourmand candle person, so I think there's a little bit of better options out there. Same with the Candy Corn and the Poison Apple. If you're more of a foodie person, those are probably the three that you're gonna want to go for. All right, so the first up of the ones that I do have here with me is Redrum, which is super fitting for my channel because obviously my intro and my name itself is a reference to The Shining, Stanley Kubrick. It's my favorite movie of all time. Yeah, this is not exactly what I would have thought when I first hear like a Shining candle. It's really unique. I kind of want to like it more than I do as it is. I think it's fine. It's definitely conceptual. I like what they tried to do with it, but it's just not my favorite scent of all time, and it doesn't really evoke Halloween to me. It's not spooky. It's actually quite nice and smooth. Redrum, the top is clove, fresh, timber, black salt, and the mid is patchouli, rose, and tobacco leaf. The base is gray amber, vanilla, musk, and oud. So yeah, it's a lot more straightforward than the scent notes would suggest. Mostly what I get from here is like that timber, the top note, the timber. It's definitely prominent in this. It's like freshly chopped wood. You're in the Home Depot wood aisle, like crazy how accurate they got that. Followed closely by the rose. It's not like a super perfumey rose. It's really nice and sweet, and it's got that vanilla base. It's the vanilla really just like makes it super smooth. It's almost like kind of foody in the way, like a vanilla rose like type dessert if you were like eating it in the Home Depot wood aisle, I guess, if you're weird like that. But yeah, it's actually not too bad. I remember when I burned this one last year though, it was a little bit light since it's very much a heavy like vanilla. It didn't perform very well for me, but obviously the packaging is 10 out of 10. I love the Redrum door and the shining reference. So yeah, it's a really good decoration piece for me in my opinion. And honestly, if you really enjoy vanilla and rose type scents with just a little bit of wood thrown in there, definitely maybe try this one out. All right, so up next I have Witching Hour, which was a really popular one last year. I'm pretty sure this sold out like really fast. I think this was the second to sell out after Sleepy Hollow, which we'll get to later. This one is part of like the Witch's Cauldron line with Blood Moon, Sleepy Hollow, and this. It's really smoky. It's not my favorite of the Witch's Cauldron children, as like Philly Candleman likes to call it, but it's definitely unique in its own right. It's definitely spooky. It smells just like this label here. All right, so the scent notes on Witching Hour are top dried berries, earthy spices, mid jasmine petals, blue cypress, and violet leaf. The base is smoky moss, sandalwood, and tonka bean. So yeah, this one is like intensely smoky. It's like almost like the forest is like on fire, like smoke everywhere. Super smoky. You get that that dried berries notes. That's like what you get next after all the smoke is cleared. A really tart, like bitter berry. And I don't know if this is like just like the power of suggestion or anything, but it does like evoke a dried berry. Like, it is not a sweet juicy berry. It is very much like tart, bitter, like you probably don't want to eat it. It's not gonna taste very good to you berry, but like it smells really good in this context with all the smoke, and the blue cypress is in there. It's definitely smells almost exactly like this label looks. Like, it's very much giving like haunted forest that's on fire in the middle of the night, and you know there's creatures coming out of the forest. It's very spooky. So yeah, if you really like a smoky fragrance, like if you've tried the Kringle Candle Fire from their Reserve line, or if you've somehow tried Witch's Cauldron and haven't tried this one yet, I think you would really like it. Maybe if you like Pumpkin Bonfire from Bath and Body Works, like that type of smoke. That one's a little bit more like sweeter, on the sweeter side, and this one's like heavy smoke. But like, yeah, I would highly recommend this if you are want a straight up spooky haunted forest fragrance. All right, so next up we have It's Alive. So the notes on It's Alive are, the top is green herbal, the mid is fougere and smoke, and the base is wood and amber. So yeah, this one's actually pretty straightforward as far as like the scent notes would go. It's definitely like a green, earthy, smoky type scent, but it's actually like a little bit sweet. I would say like sweet earth, not like sickeningly sweet or anything like a bakery type sweet. It's not that. It's like maybe it's the amber that's in there, or like they just used something, but it definitely is pleasant as opposed to like dirty or earthy. I actually think this is like one of the most accessible fragrances in the Halloween collection. I feel like most people would like this one, especially if you're looking for like a darker type scent out of their line. This one I actually really enjoyed burning like during the daytime. Like I think it's a nice like daytime scent. I feel like most of the collection is they shine a bit more on like a cold fall night, but this one I actually really like burning during the daytime, even though like the label would not suggest that. But yeah, I really enjoy this one if you're looking for like a slightly smoky, slightly sweet, plant-like dirty fragrance. I would go for this one. All right, so next up we have Nevermore, which is a beautiful label. I actually prefer this label. They changed the label on this one this year, and I actually prefer this one. I think it looks super cool. All right, the notes on Nevermore are chai spice, honey as the top. The mid is sandalwood, tea. The base is cinnamon and floral. Also, if you see me struggling in this video to open these candles, sometimes they have like a really tight lid. Like I was really trying to open that one. These sometimes, just be careful, they come with a really tight lid on them, and you're gonna want to pull straight up or straight like at a side. Definitely don't try to like pull back or anything, because they can crack, and I just wanted to showcase that one. Yeah, this one is interesting too. I wouldn't have looked at this label and then picked out those scent notes for this, but with that being said, this is a really good fragrance. It's super sweet, like big time sweet chai spice, sweet honey, a sweet floral in it. It's some sort of like, I don't know exactly what floral it is. Like I would say it's like a pink flower or something. That's kind of what comes to my mind when I smell this one. But yeah, this one's really foodie. It's definitely leaning more gourmand. Definitely very relaxing. It's got, I think, what is it, chai? Yeah, chai spice. There's a little bit of the sandalwood. The tea is in here. It's very calming. I remember when I burned this one last year, it was really strong. So if you really want a strong, sweet, floral type scent, definitely go for this one. All right, so up next we have another popular one from last year, Cemetery Lane. It's got to have been a little bit popular due to this looks like Vecna's house from Stranger Things. They were kind of, I know they probably pick out these labels like a year or two in advance, but like, you know, perfect timing and all that. All right, so the scent notes for Cemetery Lane are top dark mysterious musk, midnight iris. The mid is patchouli and dried oak. The base is creeping moss, dusky cedar, and sweet earth. Yeah, that's like, this one is probably, out of the ones that I've talked about so far, is definitely the spookiest one. This is actually super interesting and unique. I think when I reviewed this one last year on my page, I described it as like a rotting funeral parlor. That's what it evokes for me. It's got that floral. It's got like wilting, like dying flowers in there with like rotting, like crumbling wood. That's like what you get like first and foremost. It smells like dusty. It's so strange how they are like able to get that. I assume that's coming from like the moss or no, the cedar, the dusky cedar and dried oak. Yeah, like it literally smells like there's like dust caked on the walls. in like a good way though. Like I know that sounds like disgusting, but like it's one of those scents that you smell it and you're like, ew, but then like you want to smell it like 3 4 more times. You know, it's really really interesting. It's definitely for your more spooky lovers, and the label is amazing. Like I would definitely recommend this one. It had a pretty decent strength when I burned it last year. It wasn't overpowering when I burned it, but you could definitely tell it was burning, at least in my room. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for like a spooky, scary type fragrance, like you really really want to lean into Halloween side of things. Definitely pick this one up. All right, so up next is actually kind of me just speculating a little bit. They haven't confirmed that the new Halloween 2-wick tumbler, I'll put a picture up somewhere on screen so you can see what the new one looks like. This fragrance is like a black licorice type pumpkin spice fragrance, and there was a 3-wick last year that I got called Purple Pumpkins. It was exclusive to the 3-wick line last year. I picked this one up because it was touted as a black licorice pumpkin spice scent, and obviously I got this like pretty late into the season. I burned through quite a bit of it. I loved this scent, and when I saw the new ones get revealed and saw the scent notes for Halloween, they are the exact same scent notes as this 3-wick Purple Pumpkins. So I am assuming that they are the same fragrance. I haven't seen any of the people who have received them saying that it is a repackage, but I'm just kind of believing that it is. If it's not, I'll make sure to walk that back a little bit later, but as of right now I believe it is this one. The scent notes on the Halloween candle and this one are black licorice, anise, and fennel on top, the mid of clove, cinnamon, nutmeg, and the base of musk, cedarwood, sweet, tonka, and vanilla. Yeah, this they were smart to take this fragrance and then put it in a fragrance called Halloween, because that is 100% what this smells like. Like this is like, when you think of Halloween, like it's probably this. If you're scared of like black licorice type scents because they're like super strong, I would say if you're like just like a little bit intrigued about like a black licorice scent, get this one. It's super smooth. The clove and the cinnamon and like the pumpkin spices really really like gives it depth, it gives it warmth. It's not like over the top like crazy strong black licorice scent like Homeworks Black Magic is, if you've ever had that. If you've had that scent, you probably love black licorice, and so you are probably already planning on picking this one up if you're a black licorice lover. But even if you're not, even if you're like a little bit on the fence or maybe like just slightly dislike it, you might actually end up liking this. It's like the smoothest black licorice scent that I've ever smelled. The vanilla really helps. The pumpkin spices really help make it a lot less heinous. Don't be fooled though, it is still in there. Like this is a black licorice candle. It's not like hiding that it is a black licorice candle. It just smells like a very fancy version of that. So if you really like black licorice or want to try a black licorice scent, you don't know how you feel about it, I would say maybe try this one out. Because I ended up loving it. I'm very happy that they're bringing it back. All right, we're getting close to the end. But up next we have Scarecrow. So the scent notes on this are top tobacco oriental, the mid bergamot herbal, and the base of leather and amber. Man, I could burn this literally all the time. This is such a nice scent. It is straight up tobacco, leather, bergamot. That's it. It's super sophisticated. It's very like mature. If this was like a body care fragrance, I would wear this all the time. It's super like calming and relaxing. It smells a little bit manly, like it's got a little bit of like a cologne-y, not cologne in like a gross way, but like cologne in like, ooh, that's like really high end, like where did you get that, like type cologne. Like it's definitely something that you want to smell when it is burning. You're not like, ew, like get that cologne away from me. I would say this one, I got it and I just like burned through a lot of it. This is almost down to halfway. I would say like I was obsessed with this one last season, and this was like my go-to like daytime burn. Like I'll wake up, I would light this one, and like it would be a good day. You know, it's very much like very smooth tobacco with like that leather back there, and then like a slightly like sweet bergamot, citrusy, like I don't know. I would 100% highly recommend this one. I'm definitely getting some backups of this so that I don't lose it. Definitely one of my top picks for this collection. All right, I saved the best three for last. These are like the quintessential, like you need to get these if you can. And I actually will just take the time right now to say that these sell out really, really fast. So if you want these fragrances, you need to get there like on launch day. And I'll go over that at the end. But this is Blood Moon. And I am so excited that I get to say that because they did not bring this one back last year. And I just, for the life of me, don't know why. This is so good. Like, literally, like it is so spooky. This label is amazing. I spent like all last season like tagging Kringle on Instagram being like, bring this one back please, and they finally like listened this year and they're bringing it back. Especially in the this one never had, let me get this lid off. This one had the black wax from 2 years ago. It was like a paraben and paraffin and soy mix. They shouldn't put parabens in these. That would not be good. But yeah, so it's finally coming in the 100% soy wax, and I am so happy about that. All right, so this one has a lot of scent notes, but the top is vibrant cassis, tamarind pulp, cedar, bergamot extract. The mid is pomegranate seed, blood orange, cassie clove, and the base is incense, acai berry, orange blossom, and wild ivy. Oh man, this is so complex. Like you read those scent notes and you're like, wow, that's a lot. And then you smell this and you're like, wow, that's a lot. Like there is layers to this. What I will say is it's mostly fruity. It is a fruity candle. There's a lot of like super fruits in this. Like it's got the orange, it's got the pomegranate, it's got the acai berry. Like it's all in there. You can smell it. Mostly it's the orange, I would say, and a little bit of the pomegranate. And you know what? Surprisingly in here is that tamarind pulp. I don't know if you've ever had those like tamarind like candies like that has like the tamarind in the middle of it. I'll put like a picture if you don't know what I'm talking about, but like it's distinctly like when burning, not very much on cold, but last year I noticed while burning it has that in there, and it like works. It's I haven't smelled a lot of candles that use that as a fragrance note, but it really works. But all of that is like over the top of this nice like cedar wood base, and that incense in there is like crazy good. Yeah, like I'm obsessed with this one. I can't get enough of it, and I'm so glad that I just get to burn it like willingly this season instead of having to like ration it. I have about half of this one left from a couple years ago. But what I would say about this is it kind of smells like the camp from like the Wolfman. Like this is like what I feel like that like sort of tent would have smelled like. This is what I feel like the vibe of that like movie smells like to me. This one is like spooky, and it definitely reads as Halloween, but it's a lot more like elegant type Halloween. It's a lot more accessible than like its cousin, Witch's Cauldron, which is like crazy spooky and like does go there. This one, I think if you're scared to get Witch's Cauldron, you should maybe try this one and the next one that I'm going to talk about out in before, or honestly just go for all of them because they're all really, really good. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this, like highly recommend this one. Like put this one in your cart for sure. All right, so second to last, we have Sleepy Hollow, which, I mean, that label is like just gorgeous. Like it is so cool with the headless horseman on there and the pumpkin. Like this is a perfect label for a Halloween candle. So the notes on this are top pumpkin spice and incense, the mid is cedarwood and clove, the base is caramel and citrus. Yeah, like this to me is one of the two out of this collection that I consider to be a perfect fragrance. Like this is like a 10 out of 10 candle for me. It is so good. It's like slightly sweet, or not even slightly. It just is like a sweet. The caramel in there really helps with that, but it's also smoky and it's spooky. Like it looks like, it literally smells like you're in this forest and the headless horseman is like passing you by. So distinctively Halloween. This is probably my most burned candle in the season, and honestly I would burn it all the time if I one had more and two was an out of season burner. Even out of the season, like I go to like my candle stash and pick this up because it just sends me back to like a nice cozy fall headspace. And I would use that descriptor for this because even though it is like spooky and distinctively Halloweeny, it is cozy. Like the cedarwood and the clove add like a smoky warmness underneath all of like the spooky incense and like the sweetness from the caramel. It's so good. I saw one of my favorite candle pages, Haunted Haven, said it was a little bit like a pastry ness, like a pumpkin baked good, and it does kind of lean a little bit like that. It is sweet like a pastry, like dessert type. And yeah, I'm addicted to this one. If I could recommend one candle out of the whole entire line that I think almost everyone would enjoy, it would be this one. This would be my top recommendation. It's not my personal favorite. There is one that I think is better, that I like better personally, but this one, I think for most people, they would enjoy this one, and that's part of the reason I think that it sells out every year first. This one goes really, really fast, so if you want this one, if you're planning on getting it, definitely be there on the dot on Thursday to get this one, because it's for a reason. It's amazing. And last but certainly not least, we have the classic. It's Witch's Cauldron. This is my other 10 out of 10 fragrance from this lineup. This is my personal favorite. This is my favorite candle period of all time. I love like basically everything about it. The fragrance is 10 out of 10. This label, I'm so bummed because they're bringing it back this year, and this is another, well, I'm not bummed because they're bringing it back, but this is another one of the black wax, paraffin, and soy blend. But they're bringing it back this year in the 100% soy wax, which is amazing. But I'm so bummed because they changed the label on it, and this one is just so charming. Like, who is this little witch lady? Like, I believe she's making whatever's in this cauldron. Like, that's what this smells like. But like, who is that? It's just so charming. This is someone's grandma. Like, I love this label, and I'm just like, it's a personal thing. Like, the scent is still 10 out of 10 amazing. I love it. The new label is fine too. It's just like a bit more, I don't want to say generic, but I mean, it is kind of like a little bit, but I mean, it works for what they want. Obviously, this is just like some random girl, but I love the little hokey label on this. I think it adds to the charm. But anyways, all right, so the scent notes on this candle are top cedar, clove, mid incense, and base citrus. Simple. Yeah, this, it's such an addicting, like the same way that Sleepy Hollow is addicting because of like the incense that's in that. It's the same that's in here, and it's addicting because of that. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than it's just like spooky. Like, this is super smoky, super incense heavy, very, very incense heavy. There is like clove in there. It's mostly just to like set a warming effect. Like, it's not like overbearingly clovey, but it's definitely like smoky cedarwood, incense, 100%. The citrus, I know that like the Sleepy Hollow said it had like a citrus base. You don't really smell it in that candle. In this one, you do. When you burn it, there is a very, very nice citrusy note that comes through. I know a lot of people have described it as like a cola-y, like a Dr. Pepper, like cherry, Coke type scent, and I do see that, like 100%. I get that. There is like a sweet cherry-like or like citrusy type like syrupy scent that comes through when you burn it. When you smell this on cold, it is like straight up like smoke and incense, like heavy, like that's all you can smell. But when you burn it, it comes alive, and you start to smell the different layers on it. I know I saw a couple years ago, before I first smelled this for the first time, say it smelled like Band-Aids. I don't agree with that. But let me know if you also think that it does smell like that. I personally don't. I would 100% burn this all the time. This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance for me. My favorite candle, literally, of all time. It's just addicting. It's spooky. This is what Halloween smells like to me now. When I think of like the Halloween season, it's this. This is just what I associate with Halloween now. I need to have this candle every single season, and I hope they keep this one around, and hopefully with them transferring it to the new 100% soy, and even bringing it back last year, they're going to do that. I 100% would recommend this one. It is not for everybody. It is very much spooky. I've used that word like 2 billion times in this video, and you're probably annoyed by it, but it's borderline like scary. It's very intense. It's very intense. When you burn it, it's not as intense as you think it's going to be. Like, I remember when I first got this, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to burn that. Like, I love it. When I burned it for the first time, I was surprised by actually how nice it was when it was burning, but definitely not for everybody. But if you want to like get a candle from the collection that you really, really want like the scary Halloween type vibe from, it's this. You need to pick this one up for sure. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys are planning on picking up any of these candles, I believe they are launching on Thursday, August 3rd. If you're in Pacific Standard Time, you're going to want to be on the Kringle website at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Honestly, get there before then. But it's 9 p.m. Thursday, August 3rd, Pacific Standard Time, 12 a.m. If you're on the East Coast. So definitely get there early if you're planning on buying these. Specifically, if you're planning on buying Witch's Cauldron, Sleepy Hollow, definitely like you want to be there early, because those will sell out first, and all of these sell out fast, but there are a few stragglers that will stay for a couple days. There's always those fragrances that not everybody is extremely excited about, that'll maybe you might have a little bit more time to decide on. But definitely the popular fragrances, you're gonna want to get there early. Once again, I'm not affiliated with Kringle or anything, but I just really enjoy their products. So hopefully this video could have helped you guys out with picking what you guys want. If you're planning on getting anything, let me know what you guys are most excited about in the comments. I know for me, I'm very excited for that Halloween candle of the new ones. The Trick or Treat in the 2-wick tumbler with like the jack-o'-lanterns on it also looks really, really cool. So yeah, let me know if you guys are planning on picking anything up in the comments below. And if you are, I hope you are able to get what you want. I know like this can be a little bit of a stressful shopping experience, especially with limited quantities on these, but yeah, good luck to everybody who's planning on purchasing, And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.